Hello, my name is Luke Crichton. I'm a BSc graduate turned composer, and welcome back to episode 3 of the music of Doctor Who: The Dark Dimension. This is the first time we hear the TARDIS take off in this story. So, Billy said, have fun with this moment. So, in comes the main theme again. There were a couple of instances in this part where I had to make sure I wasn't overstepping into the next scene, but as you'll hear, I make sure that it transitions very nicely to the darker tone of the following.
Here we go. In you all pop.
Welcome to the beginning of the end, Doctor.
I don't think much of finality. It's better to leave the ink wet. There's always a chance to change the outcome.
Make an assessment, Doctor.
The biggest part of this episode for me was that I got to write a theme for the Daleks. After looking at the notes from Billy, I wanted to write something that was unique, but also fundamentally Dalek. If one came down the corridor towards you, you'd hear this and it would just make sense. Billy described in the notes as a kind of boof, clang kind of sound. So I went away with that, and I looked at some pulsing synths which I really liked, and an echoey glass bell that I found in Logic. Putting all that together, I found a sound that I really thought could work. So, behold, the Dalek Menace.
Doctor, there's something coming. Down the way that we came in.
Doctor!
Ah, hello there. How terrible to see you again.
How quaint. A visit from the future, I assume.
What are they?
Daleks, my greatest enemies.
Oh, I got to write a corridor scene. Just wonderful. Probably my favourite moment in this episode. Bringing up the intensity, I decided to add some strings to the Dalek theme and some timpani just for the climax, as Summerfield and the Doctor are escaping.
You forgot. Don't get crushed by falling rubble.
Ha! Oh yes, that too. Right, here they come.
Exterminate.
Just a bit more.
Seek. Locate. Destroy.
Now, Summerfield. Hello, Daleks.
The Doctor is located. Exterminate.
Get down.
Exterminate.
As you can hear, the vibraphone is back for the Fourth Doctor, but we also hear the Echo Troop theme now for Summerfield. This was to kind of show that they were both really gelling and working together.
We've got to get to 1999.
And how do you propose to do that?
You heard Hawkspur. Those Daleks were from his future. That means they got here somehow. Probably a time corridor.
What about Hawkspur? I mean the Hawkspur that was here.
Oh, he's probably long gone by now, trying to get his plans into motion. That's the trouble with megalomaniacs. They never stick around to see if a job gets done.
Ace is our big hero in this story, so the theme from Survival is back once more. But when Six is talking to her in the TARDIS about her importance, we hear the Dark Dimension theme. This was done to signify her future connection with the Doctor, but also give a sense of what she'll have to do to succeed.
Ace,
Yes, Doctor?
whatever happens out there, and I don't mean to heap too much pressure or expectation into your more than capable hands, whatever happens out there dictates the course of existence in this reality and possibly countless others. The fate, the very fate of creation lies in the decisions you make today. Rely on instinct, but not your cavalier attitude towards self-sacrifice. I can tell I'll need you in the future. Understand?
Of course, Doctor. Thanks.
Devish is killed rather swiftly by the Cybermen, so as composer, I have to convey the shock at his death, the fact that the Cybermen did it, and that this moment is a sad one. But I've only got about 15 seconds to get all this across, so I started with the Cyberman clang, but that didn't really cover all the ground, so I decided to add the rapid bass line that's been following the Echo Troops around since part 1. If you go back and listen to part 1, it starts there. And I added some melancholy strings just to bring that moment to a close.
Halt! Or you will be destroyed!
Cybermen!
Come on, run!
You can grieve later. Let's move.
When Ace starts planning to get into the Hawkspur estate, we hear the Echo Troop theme for Everett and a rising string motif, because I thought at this point it would be perfect to have some kind of James Bondy kind of infiltration music, finishing with Ace's motif again as she starts to black her way inside.
I'll go then.
You sure?
Yeah, I've done this kind of thing before. Spent a weekend at Wimbledon serving drinks in the raw box. Didn't think much of it, or them to be honest. Some of them were a bit handsy.
Right. You try and get in. I'll try and find another way. Good luck.
Oi! You in the apron! Sorry I'm late.
Late? You're working with us tonight?
Yeah, had to get the bus over. Accident on the high street or something.
It is very hard to write scary music, especially without thinking of Bernard Herrmann's score for Psycho. But I also leaned into Howard Shore's score for The Silence of the Lambs for this moment when Swift is killed. From Billy's notes, he said he didn't want anything that was too overbearing, but something that would be scary enough to put the audience on edge, but die out completely once Swift's body hits the ground.
I would have skinned and scalped every last one of them if I didn't have to ingratiate myself within this regretful world. You would see your own people burn, Swift. You spineless fool. I won't give you the pleasure.
This was a very small moment, but now that we've established the Dalek theme, I can now fragment it for moments when the Daleks are on screen and being scary.
I must ask you to leave.
I can vouch for her. She'll stick to me like a bad smell. I'll show her the ropes, yeah?
You are not facilitated to command that. Very well. You will accompany Taylor Swift to the dining room. She must be observed constantly. Obey, obey, obey.
I don't think they'll get very far in the service industry with attitudes like that, will they?
Right at the end of the story, we have the arrival of the Third Doctor. So I get to introduce this brand new theme, which I'm calling the Heroism of the Doctor. This was to give the TARDIS some announcement to her arrival. Rather than like a gentle tune that we had heard earlier, this one was to give it a bit more oomph and some triumph, because it's the TARDIS, the Doctor in the TARDIS. But before we kick into Dalekhium's wonderful rendition of the theme tune, a Pertwee-esque cliffhanger is in order. Funny story, actually. The original tune for this scene was very, very similar to Dudley Simpson's score for The Invasion of Time. I sent it to Billy and it's too similar. It was too similar. So I went back and changed it. But just for you, here's the Music Diary version. All I did here was keep the chords, the 70s clav, the electric piano, but add a gong just underneath. You can hear it is there. And here's the final result.
Stay here and...
Oh dear. Spot of bother, eh?
Thank you all very much for watching and for listening to part 3 of Doctor Who The Dark Dimension. I'll put a link in the descriptions for parts 1, 2 and 3 so you can catch up. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing. We're doing one more of these and then we're going to do a little Q&A, hopefully. Hope you're all doing okay, staying safe. So long for now. I'm going to wait. Oh. Right, we can continue.